Okay, on Friday we were able to start the listening test, and we had, are you cold?
No.
Right, so on Friday we started with the listening test, and we were able to begin some of the important keys. I don't know if we can have a little recap of the important keys that we actually treated on Friday. Yes, part of the important keys we treated on Friday. Can you remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do we call the important keys? What do we call the important keys?
Yes, that is an instruction.
No. What do we call the important keys?
The 3 T's.
The 3 T's.
Is that what you mean?
That was what I was asking. No, I didn't. Okay. So the 3 T's. The first T is called what? The trick. The trick is also called what?
Bracket.
The bracket trick, right? And is the practice of doing what? Putting in bracket a part of your answer you're not so sure about, right?
Yes, sir.
And we also understood on Friday that when you apply the bracket trick, it has to work in hand in glove with what?
Your answer.
No. It has to work strictly in accordance to what? In accordance to what?
Rules.
The what?
Rules.
Instructions.
It's the same thing.
Yes. I just wanted to use the right word to use my friend. It has to work hand in glove with the instructions. So the application of the bracket trick under a section that says no more than one word and or a number, what do you tend to consider when you are applying a bracket trick? Under a section that says no more than one word and or a number, what do you consider? What is the bracket making provisions for?
For the second option, the which is not supposed to or is supposed to be there. I know what I'm supposed to say, but I didn't say it properly. Like I'm correct.
You are not correct. What is the bracket trick making provisions for when it's working under a section that says no more than one word and or a number? What is it trying to consider?
We are supposed to use only one word for one.
Yes. So what is the bracket trick? What role is it playing? What is it trying to make provisions for? Just put it anyhow, let me hear. Okay, let me try Mr. Austin. What is the bracket trick trying to consider?
Bracket trick is to make sure we play safe, to avoid getting wrong answer when you are not too sure. You can use that bracket to be on the safer side.
The general essence of the bracket trick is to play safe, to stay safe.
So the one that says this, okay?
No. I'm actually trying to clear something he's telling us. That the primary aim of the bracket trick is to play safe, to stay safe, to make sure your answers are safe. But for no more than one word and or a number, of course, automatically your answers are meant to be just one word or one number or a word and a number or just a number without a word, right? But the question right now is, what is the bracket trick trying to make provisions for? The bracket trick is trying to make provision for singular or plural. Is that correct?
Yes.
It's trying to make provisions for singular or plural so that if the answer is meant to be a singular word or it's supposed to appear as a singular word, then it's there. If it's required to be in a plural form, which is in bracket, then it will be acknowledged, right? Thank you. Now let's go to no more than 2 words and or a number. What is the bracket trick trying to make provisions for? You see how the mic sound?
Not more than 2 words.
No more than 2 words and or a number. What's the bracket trick trying to make provisions for?
When no more than 2 words and a number. When we have more than 2 words, maybe when we have a word that supports the answer, but we are not too sure Okay, to avoid to play safe, we have to bracket down one that is supporting.
So,
When it is more than 2 words.
in other words, the bracket trick is making provisions for what?
2 words,
Of course, 2 words.
not 3. You know.
This man is trying to be very careful.
Yes, like, is it not still a singular and plural?
No, please. Not at all.
No, that one is no longer singular plural.
When we are treating a section of, when we are treating questions under a section that says no more than 2 words and or a number, what is the bracket trick trying to make provisions for? Let me just help us, right? The bracket trick is actually trying to make provisions if the examiners want the main answer or both the main answer and the supporting word. Do you understand this? That's why we identify, of course, which do we place in the bracket? A supporting word. So that if they don't want the supporting word, of course, the primary word is left open, so it's going to be marked correct. But if they want both the supporting word and the primary word, both will be acknowledged. Okay. Now, under a section that says no more than 3 words and or a number, how do we apply bracket trick when you write 3-word answer? When you're writing a 3-word answer, how do you apply the bracket?
So I still same with that 2 words that when we have a supporting word that the examiner may not want, we still put it in the bracket to be safe. Or we have 3 and maybe 1 is supporting. So for us to be safe, we put that supporting in the bracket.
I think, let me ask my question again so that you understand what I'm asking. My question was, how do we apply the bracket trick around words, around the answers under a section that says no more than 3 words and a number? How do we apply the bracket trick? How? That's the key word.
We leave the ones that the supporting word should be in the bracket, while the
Should
other
be in
bracket.
Should be in what, sir?
Bracket.
Sir, there is something you don't want to. You are hiding something, and I want to hear it. The supporting word should be what?
In bracket.
No, the English is not yet correct.
Bracket.
Should be what, sir?
Bracket.
Sir, I want us to understand something. In every sentence you're making, you have to consider article. Article can be singular article, specific article, or plural article. Now, in 3 words, we have 2 supporting words, right? Now, the 2 supporting words, do we leave them in a bracket or we put them in individual brackets?
Individual brackets.
Do you understand my?
Yes.
That's why I said he's hiding something. If he was saying should we put in brackets. So in brackets, it's not specifying whether it's 1 or 2.
Individual brackets.
Aha, now it's very specific. English, when you are speaking English, you have to be careful. Okay, so my question was, how do we apply the bracket trick around answers where the instruction says no more than 3 words and a number? So when we write our 3 words, we identify the supporting words, right? And a main answer, right? So when we identify our main answer, we are meant to leave the main answer open. Then the primary or the supporting answers, rather, should be left in individual brackets. So that if the examiner needs only the primary answer, the supporting words that are in brackets will be considered to be optional and unnecessary. But if they want both the primary word and any of the supporting words in bracket, they would be acknowledged, and your answer will still be left or marked correctly. But if you write your answers, the 3-word answers, you don't have any brackets around any one, then unfortunately what the examiners, what the IELTS body have actually outlined to be the correct answer, supposed to be just the primary answer. Of course, you're going to be marked wrong. Some people during their practice, when they see that, when they write 3-word answers under that section, and then ironically what is expected is just 1 word, and that 1 word is among their 3-word answer, they mark the section. Right? Because the field is there, and again, the instruction says 3 words, so they did exceed 3 words. Alright.
Okay, so from what you're saying, you have a question. You said no more than 2 words. But you write 3. You bracket it.
No. What I just explained right now is section that says no more than 3 words. When you write 3 words, you identify the primary word and leave it open. Right? Then the 2 supporting words. Do you understand this? 2 supporting words. You are to leave them in individual brackets.
So now, no more than 3 words. I will say, whenever I get my answer, I write the 3 words.
Yes.
I should just bracket the 2 individual supporting words.
Yes.
And leave the main one.
Open, yes. Don't put your primary answer in bracket. It will simply mean you don't have an answer.
Yes.
But the supporting words, please leave them in brackets, individual brackets.
For every answer, I should always do that. Is that what
If you've heard the 3-word answers from the audio, if you heard that, write them out. But put the supporting words out of the 3 words. Put 2 of the supporting words in brackets, in individual brackets. Let's say, for instance, I used now right here we have the Super Eagles. The Super Eagles is a 3-word answer, and of course it aligns with, it's in consonance with the instruction which says no more than 3 words, right? Now out of this 3-word answer, the Super Eagles, there is a major receiver of all of other attributes right there. What's the receiver? Eagles. Now super is giving an attribute, a characteristic of these eagles, meaning it is not just the regular eagles, it is the super eagles. Now this particular article here, they is establishing specifics, meaning it's not all the eagles. I don't mean any other eagle right there. I'm just referring to that particular, the super eagles there. Do you understand? So right here, this article they should be left in its own bracket. Then super should be left in its own bracket. Then eagles has to be left open. Do you understand this? So I'm doing this because I actually heard the super eagles. I don't know if it's clear.
No, it's clear. But what I'm trying to say is, for all my answers under no more than 3 words, I should bracket the 2 supporting words.
Yes, if you are to write 3 words of. Can you interpret the instruction? No more than 3 words and the number. What does it mean? Can you remember?
Yes, no more than 3 words. It can be 3 words. It can be 2 words. It can be 1 word.
Thank you.
So now, if I'm to write the 3 words, I should make sure, for all my answers, I should make sure I bracket the 2.
The supporting words, identify them.
Then why, sir?
Because the answer may not require the 3 words. It might just need only 1 word. And if you write 3 words without brackets, you are incorrect.
Okay, so if I just write eagles,
and the answer is eagles alone. If the answer is just eagles, and you write eagles, you are perfectly correct. If the answer is just eagles, and you wrote the super eagles, and they is in the bracket, super is in the bracket, and eagles is left open, you are also perfectly correct. But if you write the super eagles, whereas the answers the examiners have actually identified is just eagles, your answer will be incorrect. because you've written more than what they wanted. Although it says 3 words, yes, but then this particular answer does not require 3 words. That's what I wanted to understand.
And this goes for the no more than 2 words.
No more than 2 words means don't write 3. It
Yes.
has to be 2. Good. So if you identify your supporting word, put it in bracket. Is it clear?
Yes.
So let's just say use super and ego. So super is not supporting word.
If what?
It is in 2 letters, 2 words. We claim, yeah. So that's super. That should be in bracket. But no more than 2 words.
Yes. If the question is looking to identify the receiver of the adjective, so egos is the correct answer. But if the question is asking to know the class of egos that actually got to the peak of the sky, then it has to be what? Super egos. Do you understand? If the question is asking to know the category or class of the egos that got to the peak of the sky, then it is the super egos. At this point, don't put super in brackets.
Then if you are confused,
Then you leave yes.
if you are confused, just put it to
Yeah, the super, yes. Please, do you understand?
Yes,
Alright, on Friday also we went further to learn about the tips. I don't know if you got up to the tips. Did you learn up to the tips on Friday? Where we learned tips that you should read the question before you start, read the instruction, identify the number of words, read the question before the audio begins to play, write your answers while the audio is playing, all those tips. The last one was that if your punctuation skills and knowledge are good enough, you should write all your answers in block letters, right? Fine. Then we also have the techniques. Did you treat the techniques? Alright, so that's where we are picking up today. Techniques.
Sorry, sir, can I have my notes?
Yes, sir. I've marked assignments, but not completely. I was able to. See this one, sir? I was able to. Madam, is this yours? Okay. I was able to treat your paraphrases. Some of us did so wonderfully in our paraphrases. Oh, is this yours? Well done. Well done.
See,
Well done.
my main issue is my listening. Let me wait for
I will mark the person. Techniques. Techniques in listening test, we are looking at paraphrase. And then under paraphrase, we are considering how words are paraphrased to figures. How figures are paraphrased to words. How words or figures are paraphrased to fractions or percentages. How words or figures are paraphrased to general terminologies. From the first one, let's understand how IELTS plays this particular role that makes people to miss answers. Because you need to understand that one of the major reasons a lot of people miss answers during listening test is not because you don't get to hear what the audio is saying, but because you tend to miss where the audio is treating at certain points in time. you get so perplexed because you read a question, you have read the question, and you've seen the words used in composing the question. But when the audio is reading that part or those parts of the questions, you will not get to hear those words you've read. So a lot of people will feel that the audio has not got into question 1 yet, and before they know it, audio will just announce to them, that is the end of your listening test. And they have not written anything. So the reason that happens is because of paraphrasing. Audio paraphrases the question, audio paraphrases the words you have read using their synonyms or phrases that still translate to the same thing on the question paper. So those who have no idea about paraphrasing will not know that the audio is already treating the questions. And once you're not following the question, automatically you will not know when the answer will be said. Right? So this is the reason. So let's try to understand how paraphrasing happens so you'll be able to follow, and that will help you to hear when answer will be said. During your listening test, if a question has something like $1, $1 can be paraphrased by the audio to 100 cents. Does that make sense? 100 cents is equivalent to $1. So if $1 is written on your question, when the audio is treating that part that has to do with $1, it will not read $1. It may paraphrase it to 100 cents. So once you don't realize that 100 cents means $1, that means automatically you won't even realize that it is already treating this part of the question. Hence, you won't get to know when the answer will be said. If a question is treating something that has to do with that something happens hourly. Hourly can be paraphrased to every 60 minutes. So on your question, what is written may be hourly, then the audio paraphrasing hourly would say every 60 minutes. Every 60 minutes simply means hourly. So you need to understand that paraphrasing has taken place. So when it begins to say every 60 minutes, please go to where hourly is written and follow the audio. With that, you'll be able to hear when the answer will be said. Let's go further to paraphrasing from figures to words. Sometimes this may be written on your question paper. Audio paraphrase it to words this way. Alright, some other time you might see that something has taken about 30 minutes. Audio paraphrase it to half an hour. Half an hour. So every 30 minutes is what is written in your question. But the audio will never say every 30 minutes. Audio will paraphrase it to half an hour. Now, when there is a situation that affected about 20 persons, when there is an outbreak or when there is an accident that involved 20 persons, when the audio is treating that part of the question that has to do with 20 persons being involved in an accident, it will never say 20 persons. You might see or you might hear from the audio that a score of individuals, So a score of individuals simply means 20 persons. Let's go to the next category. How the audio paraphrases words or figures to fractions or percentages. Now, words or figures to fractions or percentages, we are looking at things such as if something has to do with a quarter. A quarter, what's a quarter? Okay, let me ask the question properly. How else can we paraphrase a quarter in word again? A quarter. How else can we paraphrase it to word?
How?
In word again, a quarter. Please, how else can we paraphrase a quarter to word again? You see, English, if because of IELTS, this thing is just very close to you right now, but you are not seeing it. You are thinking elsewhere. A quarter. Paraphrase it to word, back to word again. This A becomes what? 1. And you write your quarter. Paraphrasing as is that not the same thing? A quarter and 1 quarter is the same thing. Now, how can we paraphrase a quarter or 1 quarter to fraction? Fraction. You know, in fraction you have numerator and denominator, right? 1/4. Very correct. 1/4. Is this clear? Okay. How can we paraphrase this a quarter or this 1/4 to percentage? How else can we paraphrase it?
0.25.
0.25 is decimal, not percentage.
25%.
25%. Okay, so this is one good way to actually paraphrase. So if on your question paper what is written is a quarter or 1 quarter, the audio may never say a quarter or 1 quarter. Rather, the audio may say 25% of it simply means a quarter or 1 quarter. Right? Then another instance can be when something involves half of an entire. Half of an entire item or figure simply translates to what? In fraction. That would be what?
Half of what? Sorry.
Half of an entire. Could be entire anything. Could be entire loaf of bread. Could be half of an entire bag of oranges. It could be half of the population of the country. So that half can be expressed in fraction as what?
1/2.
1/2. 1/2 simply means half. This is maybe, have you forgotten? Let's start to do that. It could be 1/2 or 2/4, right? Now, what about this half of an entire, or 1/2 or 2/4? How can we express this in percentage? 50%. Please, when you are taking on your listening test, you have to pay keen attention. Right? So these are some of the ways audio can paraphrase what you may have read on the question paper. So while you're waiting to actually see or hear the audio, read the same thing as on your question paper, that may never happen. So the audio may simply just paraphrase it, and of course, if you don't have an idea of paraphrase, you may not know when the answer will be said. Now let's go to the last part, paraphrasing words or figures to general terminologies. Okay. Please write in 3 minutes. Please write at the back of your notes or anywhere how these things can be expressed. How you feel audio can express these guys. Alright? Alright, thank you so much. Our time has elapsed. So let's do this together. Madam, the first one, every day. Every day, how can it be paraphrased?
Each day. I know you're going to pause. I only change the every to each.
Okay. Please remember, IELTS is always looking for advanced expressions. Each day, anybody can easily say this.
Yeah, 24.
Daily.
Or 24 hours.
Have you forgotten? Or 24 hours. Daily is better. Or, if it's to be paraphrased to figure, you might hear 24 hours. What about every week? Weekly?
Or 7 days.
This way?
No.
Which one?
Double E.
Okay. Need to be sure. Or
7 days.
7 days. Every 2 weeks? Every 2 weeks?
14 days.
Every every 2 weeks can be considered to be what?
14 days.
14 days, yes. Or Victoria, or what? Fortnight, or bi-weekly.
How are you expecting me to do that?
Because I'm sure your teacher taught you. Alright, every month is very popular. Monthly or every 4 weeks, right? 4 weeks cuts across every month, including February, that may have 28 days, which is 4 weeks precisely. Then every 3 months can be expressed as what?
Quarterly.
Quarterly. Every 6 months?
Annual. Biannual.
Biannually. Every year? Yearly or
52 weeks.
annually.
Okay, sorry.
Yes. Or 52 weeks. Then every 2 years? Biannually. Alright? Then nearly 25. Nearly 25 can be expressed as what? Nearly 25? No. About 2. Nearly 25. About 2 modules. Then 20 persons can be expressed as what? A score. 20 persons. A score is just 20. What about the persons? The score of individuals. 10 years of existence, a decade. 30 years of existence, 3 decades. Then 25 years anniversary. You know, 25 years anniversary. Silver Jubilee, right? What about 50 years anniversary?
Golden Jubilee, sorry.
Like one better. Golden Jubilee. Alright. What about 100 years of existence? Is a what?
Centurion.
Centurion.
Centenary.
Oh, sorry, that's
Centenary. Hmm. It is a century. Hmm? 1,000 years of existence. Huh? Mark, you said something?
I'm cooking something.
What are you cooking?
What she doesn't do. Alright, it is called a millennium.
Oh,
But I'm not going to spell the millennium, you do this. Exactly! Where it happens, please spell millennium. Let me do a rough spelling first. M-I L-L E-N-I U-N.
No, there's double N somewhere.
Double M somewhere. Double another
No.
M.
N, maybe. Yes.
Let's put another N here.
The way yours. No, that's okay.
That's okay. Thank you so much. That's incorrect.
No, I feel it. Somebody's beside this. I knew that there's N somewhere.
Victoria, please spell millennium.
M-I
M-I
double L
double L
It's double N.
N-U
N-U
I-M.
Pronounce it.
Yeah.
You just spelled millennium. Sir,
It's just to add.
please, sir. It's just to add.
Add one more N.
Okay.
M-I
M-I
L-L-E-N
L-L-E-N
N-U
N-U
I
N-U-I
N.
N.
Yes, that's correct.
And that's
Sir?
why I say you have to add one more N.
O.
N.
No, you're
No, you're wrong. Oh. It's M-I double
You're
N
okay.
E double N U I-U-M.
Sir, you said I should correct it to what?
You bring the I back to.
Madam,
That was what you
it's-
said.
It's not your spelling.
It's double N.
N-N-E-U.
E-U. Then M, right?
Yes.
No. No.
Just
Let
add
me
one
spell
more
again.
N to mine. That's
I
all.
think mine, if you clean the U, put the I before the U, then double another N, you get millennium. That's the spelling.
You are doing shuffling and arrangement.
Yes.
No, I know that mine is just to add one.
Okay, so this is almost correct.
One N missing.
Almost correct. Just another N.
And then
Correct. This is, there is misplacement of
Yes.
U and I, and it also requires another N. Here is correct, just to change E to I. Alright, so please, these are a few things we should not just ignore. multiple choice questions. All right, so let's begin. The listening test has 4 sections, and it usually lasts for about 40 minutes. We have 40 questions to answer. Each question carries a mark. Then, during your listening test, section 1 is usually a dialogue. And based on experience, over 80% of the dialogue you get to listen to during your section 1 often comes via telephone calls, where someone would phone in either to lodge a complaint or make inquiries or report a situation. So during such conversations, or let me even ask, what is a dialogue?
The communication, a discussion between two people.
Discussion. So what's a dialogue?
Dialogue is like
Making inquiries. What's a dialogue?
Dialogue, it's more like a conversation between two persons making inquiries about a particular.
You are rapping. Okay. Yes. All correct. Dialogue in science, for those of us, I won't say those of us because I'm not even a science. For those of you who did science would say die. Die means what? Two. Right? So dialogue means convo between two persons or two parties. You know, some years back, you would, if you were correct, you would hear when the federal government had dialogue with Boko Haram or the insurgents, right? Or insurgency. I don't know what they call them. Now, at that point, their delegates or representatives were there. The federal government delegates or representatives were there. So they had to put heads together to know what their grievances are or were and how to appease them. Right? Also, when you are, it's not always, dialogues are not always tailored or geared towards having a solution. It could not be a casual conversation you're having with someone. It could be catching up with a bosom friend, right? So you are talking, the person is listening, and once you're done talking, the person would also have to wait and listen to the response of the other person. So dialogues are usually conversations between two persons or two parties. During your listening test, the dialogues that you get to hear, either via telephone calls or a walk-in conversation, please, these are potential answers you should look out for. The first one right there is name. If on your question paper you notice that there is a name written and the dash is after that name, that means name is required to be one of the answers. So you'll be expected to write a name. Now, if that name is a popular English name, it's not going to be spelled. So it's expected that you should know that name and how it's being spelled. So, and when the person is requested or required to give his or her name, the person will begin from the one written on the question already. So you have to listen. Don't write that part that's written on the question paper already as part of your answers. It's going to make your answer incorrect. So you listen as the person gives the first name, then the second name, which is not on the question paper, you would have to then write. Correct spelling matters. Punctuation matters. Then, if it is not a popular name, it's going to be spelled. So during the spelling, you are expected to write. You have to be as fast or as quick as the person is spelling his or her name. Then secondly, we have telephone. If telephone is required to be written as part of your answers, the digits of the telephone number will be called out. Please, at this point, it's usually very fast. So you need to be smart as well and write the digits. If you miss a digit, your answer will be incorrect. Okay? Then sometimes there are situations where the first 4 digits or 5 digits will be on the question paper already. So when the person is giving his or her telephone number or mobile phone number or cell phone number, the person will also begin from those 4 digits that are on the question paper. So you, the test taker, Victoria, where's your money? I know you're listening. Yeah, just tell them you're busy now.
Yeah, thinking about the test taker.
Okay. What did the test taker do? He's well. Okay. Now, if you are writing, because of exam condition, you may not be smart to realize that the first 4 digits that the person is calling is already written in your question paper. But do you understand this explanation? So don't be quick to write what is already written on the question paper until you answer. Then you have to observe to know if what the person is calling is the part that's on the question paper. If it is, then you just have to wait until the person now continues from after the first 4 or first 5 digits. Right? Then let's go to address. If address is required to be a part of your answers, you would notice that on the particular question number where it is supposed to come in, the address will also be there. But maybe the street number or street name may be omitted. So that's what you're to write, which the audio will give while discussing the address. Then date of birth, we talked about that on Friday. We also had that on Saturday, right? Did you meet it?
Saturday, yes, I did.
You met? Okay, date of birth where you are advised to listen attentively and follow instructions. If you're meant to write just a word and a number, that means you're writing the month and the day, or the day and the month. Then remember, if you're writing the month and the day, you should consider if you're to provide suffix to the day. You know what the suffix is? Madam, do you know what the suffix would be? The TH or ST or RD or ND. So you are to apply what to this suffix? The bracket trick. Don't forget that. It may be required, it may not be required. Then nationality. We learned about nationality on Friday. No, okay, we didn't learn that. On Saturday you learned nationality, right? I told them it is important that you know nationalities, especially their spellings. Especially the spellings. Because in IELTS, nobody spells nationalities. And of course, you know there are there are numerous countries in the world. So the names of those countries are not always the exact nationality that is written. So there's a way their nationalities are written. For instance, a person from Nigeria is a Nigerian. A person from Ivory Coast, Ivorian. Then a person from Cote d'Ivoire, a person from Cote d'Ivoire is called what? I don't want to hear it. I want you to tell me what.
I don't know.
Ivory Coast, I call it very set. Just repeat Ivory.
Yes, now you don't want to confuse me.
I'm only asking questions. A person from Niger is called what? Niger. Not Niger. A person from Niger is called. It's called what?
No.
No, you.
I'm not. You want to laugh at me? I'm asking if it's Nigerians.
Please say it to the man.
Nigerians.
No, why putting S? Nigerian, when you say the Nigerian, singular, a person, right?
Nigerian.
Huh? So please, how do we write that? Nationality.
Niger.
Sir,
Wait, am I correct?
where we
I know
write
how to
it?
spell, but I don't know if I'm correct.
Let's write it first, then we pronounce it.
Niger.
Please, okay, let me just explain this, please.
Yes, sir.
I think it's the one that's national.
Yes, sir.
We should write it down because honestly.
You need to know these spellings, honestly speaking, because when a person from a particular nationality says his or her nationality, it's not going to be spelled. So if you do not know the spelling, your answer is going to be incorrect. So just feel free, if you don't get it right, we correct ourselves.
Oh, your man.
All right, madam, let's get the spelling of a person from Niger. Did you Google?
No.
A person from Niger is spelled as what? Please use the mic. Let the world hear you.
I don't know. I'm not going to program this one.
Sir, a person from Niger is spelled as what?
Niger.
N-I-G-E-R-I-A-N.
ERIAN.
Is this your brother? This is the person is from your country.
Nigerian.
Victoria, please.
I think we should remove the I.
I should move the I. Please spell yours. Let's see.
N-I.
N-I-G-E.
G-E. R-A-N.
Please pronounce it.
Nigerian.
Huh?
Nigerian.
Irian. Where is the Irian? Okay, please let's note this. See the difference?
There was no way I was going to get it.
Okay. Please note the correct. A person from Chad is called what? I'm asking you. I'm giving my mic. Victoria, a person from Chad is called what? Sir, a person from Chad is called what? Chadian. Simple.
I was this kind of
I wasn't too sure because it might just like
yes.
A person
make
from
fun of it.
a person from Senegal.
Senegalese.
Senegalese, how will
A person from Cameroon. A person from Mali.
Malian.
Like the one that sing.
No, we don't like that one.
Okay. Okay. A person from Burkina Faso. I'm just taking us through Africa, around Africa now.
I'm very well possible.
No, I want you to attempt first. Burkina Faso. I had something.
You got it now.
I'm not sure.
Settle.
Oh, you're right.
Is it Bokenians?
Huh?
Bokenians? I don't know.
Is she correct? Huh?
Yes, sir, she's correct.
You can set people up.
No, but it sounds.
Burkina.
But I know I'm not correct.
That sounds like the courts in the US.
Really? Oh, wow.
A person from Burkina Faso is called a Burkinabe.
But she tried at least.
Yes, she tried. She took us.
Burkinabe.
Burkinabe.
Can you spell it?
Burkinabe.
Probably.
A person from Kenya. A person from Kenya is called what? Yeah, that's their president now. That's not their president.
Kenyans.
Hmm?
Kenyans.
A person. One.
Kenyan.
Kenya.
Yes, just one.
Kenya.
Kenya. Right?
There's a K.
Kenyan. Nyan.
K-E-Y.
Thank God they were just saying
K-A-N-Y-E. Kenyan. K-A-N-Y-A-N. Sorry, K-E-N-Y-A-N. Kenyan.
It's just a person. What is
Just
the group
one.
of people?
Kenyans.
Kenyans.
A person from Togo, Ghana.
Ghanaians.
A person from Benin Republic. It's called what?
Venice.
Huh?
Venice.
The one you put as a bishop.
No.
A person from Benin Republic is called Beninois. Beninois. Benin.
Benignos.
It's nice. Benin. Okay. Let's move outside Nigeria a little bit. Okay, still within. Egypt is called what? Egyptian. Good. A person from UK is called what? Londonians. Ah! A person from UK is Ukrainian. A person from UK is Ukrainian.
That's still a serious question.
Welcome.
We can now start.
You'll be waiting for us.
We can now start.
Okay.
We are waiting for you.
No.
Welcome.
Thanks, sir.
A person from UK is called what? Yes, this is breakfast. Welcome.
A person from UK.
UK is called a what?
British.
Huh?
British.
The sense I was asking, you are telling me it's Ukrainian. The person from UK is
I was confused.
The way you ask you, you'll be confused.
Just hold it. You need to, we was serving breakfast this morning.
But correct.
A person from UK is a British. Do you understand? But a person from England is called a what?
Person from England.
English.
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 Yes.
English.
Yes.
English there.
Yes.
Ah.
That's why if you ask people what's your first language in Nigeria, they will tell you English. How? Are you born in England? That's wrong. There's no way your first language can be English. Your first language has to be your native language because in England it's only English they speak.
You don't have a native language.
English is their native language. Do you understand? So a person from England is called an English. Okay, now a person from Scotland is Scottish. A person from Netherlands you have the mic. A person from Netherlands, yes? Any idea? Sir, any idea? Nedo. Nedo is Regina's husband. Okay, a person from Netherlands is called a Dutch.
It's simply a Germany.
German.
German.
From Germany, you are a German. Alright? Now let's go deeper. A person from the US is called a what?
America.
An American. Nice. A person from Peru is called a what? Peru is a country.
Peruvian.
Is what?
Peruvian.
Peruvian.
You can't spell it.
Peruvian. 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 A person from Argentina. Argentine. Right? A person from
Please, I said Peru is one.
Peruvian. Hmm? A person from Sweden.
Swedes.
Huh?
Swedes.
Swedish.
Swedish. Swiss is their language. A person from Ireland. Irish. A person from Morocco. Huh? Moroccan. What about Moroccan? Is there any difference? Huh? A person from Morocco is a Moroccan. A person from Mexico. Morocco is Moroccan. Mexico is what? A person from Morocco is a Moroccan, right? A person from Mexico is what? Mexican. Simple. Then a person from Jericho is what? Is Jericho. Simple. This is how we know intelligent people. Jericho.
No.
Where is that? A person, there's no, Jericho is not a country, it's just a city. Just a city. So we are just testing you. So I will just ask you to hear from me. Please, nationality is important to know. These are little things you actually just ignore. So please build.
Is it going to be part of the test?
It's going to be what?
Is it going to be part of the test?
What about
Yes.
What about
There are questions that nationalities are answers.
Yes, actually.
And they don't spell them. You have to write it yourself.
What about Ukraine?
Ukrainian.
Russia,
Just-
Russia.
Hmm?
No, I'm just Russia.
Yes. So please, no certain nationalities because they may, one of them could just be an answer to a question. Now let's look at interest. The person might be interested in a particular thing. It could be, the person might be interested in taking up a particular course, or the person wants to subscribe for an accommodation, or the person wants to be a tour guide, the person wants to buy certain products. So whatever the interest is, if for instance the person is interested in being one of the tour guides for a particular tour they are organizing, they want to know the person's previous portfolio, whether the person has actually occupied such or played such roles in the past, right? Or if the person is interested in offering a voluntary job, they want to know what the person's experiences have been over time. Then in that case you might hear, I used to be, that means is a past period. You might also hear, I was the manager of this past. Also, duration. What is the period? What's the duration period? Or what's the period of the program? Is it going to be like an 8-week program, Or is it going to be a 1-month program? Or whatever it is. You have to pay attention and know what your answer should be. Then, time. If time is required to be part of the answers, it will be said. When they say the time, please write. If the question indicates the time of the day, for instance, morning, afternoon, or evening, do not write AM or PM as part of the answer. It will make your answer incorrect. If your question paper shows AM or PM, remember this. Don't write AM or PM as part of the answer when you write the time. If it says something like 12:45, and on the question you are seeing PM, or on the question you are seeing afternoon or evening, don't write AM or PM because it's already on the question paper. Just write just 12:45. Please, do you understand this?
No, when it's not there,
when it's not there and the audio says the time of the day, write it and put your AM or PM in brackets. Do you understand? Then let's look at the cost. If there is any financial implication, please, just like the time condition applies, also the money currency symbol. If there is currency symbol on the question paper, don't write it as part of your answer. If the currency symbol is not written but spelled, do you understand this? So instead of writing dollars, And instead of writing it that way, it's now spelled DOLLARS. Don't write dollar as part of your answer, but it's already on the question. Write only the people. Do you understand this? Madam, how do you write $80.15? $80.15. $80.15. How do we write it?
80.
$80.15.
Okay.
What do I write to achieve $80.15?
80.
80.
Dot 15.
Your final answer.
Perfect. So, do we need to put a dollar sign or do we have to spell the dollars behind? We should put a sign.
If it's not the
Thank you. So, that would have been the first part of the answer. If it's not on the question paper and the audio gives the currency, you now write your dollar symbol and remember to leave it in bracket. You understand? But if it is written on the question paper, whether spelled in word or written as a symbol, please do not write it as a part of your answer. It's going to annul your answer. You understand this moment? Now let's go to section 2. Section 2, we are focusing on monologue. What are monologues? What are monologues?
It has to do with one person
Presenting.
Let's say presenting or talking about a situation.
You almost, yeah. But there's something you're not, and that thing is necessary. Or else, what you have defined will mean another thing. Monologue.
Someone talking about something.
Mm-hmm.
Someone talking about a specific something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's a monologue? What is a monologue?
A monologue is more like a discussion.
Discussion. That means two persons.
Okay, a conversation. Someone describing.
Conversation. Two persons.
One person.
Okay, just a person
Mm-hmm.
describing a particular, probably an event
Mm-hmm.
to the audience.
Thank you. That's the audience.
Of course, but that's what I was saying. It's just like you now. Maybe you are presenting a speech.
What the mind?
It's a solo performance. That was what I was trying to say.
Solo performance is different from the monologue.
No.
Solo performance could be pantomime.
If I'm saying solo performance, I mean like as in this one has to do with one person talking.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Not two people, one person
Talking.
presenting or
Yes.
to a group of
That's why I said you're almost there. But once you didn't mention a group of people, it's no longer a monologue, it's soliloquy.
Okay.
Soliloquy is when one person talking to yourself. That's when Nigeria problem is more than the next thing, right? You just be talking. That's soliloquy. But monologue, there must be your audience, right? Please. Alright, so in monologues, you need to understand that it's usually faster than dialogues. Remember, in dialogues, two things are involved. When you're talking, I'm listening. After you're done talking, you wait for me to respond. And each of these respondents, or whoever talks first, right, is talking at their own pace. But in monologues, the speaker does not wait for you to process what has been said. So it's usually pretty fast. So you need to be at alert. So in monologues, you need to look out for nouns. Nouns are naming words. So the person might introduce a particular issue. It could be a pandemic, an outbreak. It could be a particular invention or innovation. It could be a particular culture. It could be a plant. It could be sleep. It could be abstract idea, right? Or a research. So once the person is talking about that thing, you need to listen to know what it is. Now, where was it actually discovered or founded or invented? The location would be mentioned. So if it's supposed to be part of your answers, please, you need to write. I heard of Chikwanakwa. although it wasn't. You are not going to spend. Okay, you know in South Africa there are crazy names.
Yes.
Maputo, Kikwala,
Mama, wow.
Mamawa, all those are South African names. Now, what is the issue with that particular invention or situation being described as an issue, right? You need to listen to get the issue. Then, how many people were affected, or how many people have benefited, how many people are undergoing certain things with regards to whatever thing that's been talked about. Now, what led to it? What's the cause? What's the cause of that particular outbreak? For instance, I asked on Saturday, when you hear of COVID, your mind takes you to where? Your mind takes you to where? China. Specifically where in China? It takes us to China, yes, but there's a particular community village. Wuhan. Right? Our mind should take us straight to Wuhan, where it's actually broke out from. Then, so that was the cause. Now, what's the impact? In Wuhan, almost 80% of the people there got affected. Right? So, it might either affect individuals or society or the country at large. It depends. It might also impact on the economy. Right? So, it depends on what the issue of this cause actually is. Now, what's the budget? Either to combat the situation to the barest minimum, or the cost it would cost individuals to actually acquire the innovation or invention, whatever it is the audio is talking about. Now let's go to MCQs. MCQs simply means multiple choice questions. Of course, during your listening test, you will notice that there are sections where you get to treat questions in A, B, C, D. So you are expected to select either A or B or C. Sometimes instruction will tell you to pick any two correct letters from the list of options, letter A to B, A to E. So, and the ironical aspect of this whole MCQs is that the audio would talk about all the options, right? So, and if you are not careful, you'll be so quick to write the first option that you just heard. You feel, this one is very easy. Right? So after, while you're even writing it, second one will now be talked about. The audio will start talking about the second one, and confusion will set in at that point. So, how do you manage MCQs? You need to read the question. Question will be very specific on what you should expect to hear. If question says, what are the two things the student is meant to do? What are the two things out of the options? So you might see, 1, go to the lab. 2, take some time out for recreation. 3, you need to study hard. So all of those things are in options. Now, if A means you need to go for your lectures, maybe it's one of the major things. Yes, so that one is selected. Second one, you need to go to the eatery. Of course, it's not compulsory. You might choose to eat in your house. So going to the eatery is out of it, right? But the audio is talking about it. Another one, I want to tell you, you need to take some time out, because it's usually said that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. But it's not compulsory. Some persons may have backlogs of assignments, so there's no need for you to take a break. At that point, C is no longer part of it. So do you understand? So audio will keep taking you through those options, but it is the question that will determine, right?
Okay, so I wanted to ask a question. In that situation, why do they always want you to follow step by step instead of, yes, you now know that, okay, these are the 2 things that I'm to take for the class presentation. Why, if I decide to write H before A on this particular, maybe 29 to 30 now, to 32, I decide to write H I before I will now come and write A and C.
If instruction says choose any 3 correct letters from the list of options given, any 3. Any 3 doesn't mean you should write them alphabetically. So if H is the first answer that you got, write H for 29. Then if C is the second answer, write C for 30.
No, yes. If A is the first answer I got from the audio, right? But I choose not to write A first. I don't know if you understand what
I'm getting what you're saying.
And to do 3 things.
29, 30, 31, right?
Yes.
And then you have a list of maybe 6 options: A, B, C, D, E, and F. So from these 6 options, you're meant to choose any 3 correct answers and write it.
And the 3 correct answers now, let's see that B, D, and E.
Okay. B, D, E. Okay.
And it's okay, these are the 3 things I'm to take for my project presentation. And I decide to write E. I got the 3, but I decided to write E first. Then come and write D first, then B.
Second. And let me ask. The D that you want to write first, you have decided to write first. Was it the first answer, correct answer that was said?
No. The first correct answer was B.
Was B. Please write B.
Okay. I shouldn't mix it up.
Unless question says choose any 3 correct answers, and that any 3 correct answers happens to, the first one happens to be D. Please write D here first. Then as it continues, it now talks about A, and A happens to be correct, write it. Then lastly, maybe E. You can see that it is not chronological, right?
Yeah.
It's not chronological because in when you're treating the letters of the alphabet, A comes before E, D before E, right?
Yes.
A, B, C, D, then E.
Yeah.
But in this case, because the instruction says any 3, so it could be anyone in no particular order. Please, do you understand?
That means it's just better to follow the steps.
No, follow based on based on how you hear the answers.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because in one of the practicals I was doing, I tried mixing it up and I got it wrong.
Okay, so that's for the MCQs. Now let's go to maps. Maps and plants. Gina,
Sir,
please rule 5 sheets for me.
for writing.
No, for listening test. Just rule 5 sheets for me. Then let's go to the maps and plans. In listening test, this is one of the sections that a lot of students fail woefully. Maps, right? Because 1, the audio will be pretty fast while describing locations on the map. Secondly, you get some parts mixed up because you don't even know, before you try to identify where it's talking about at this point, it's going to the next one. The reason is very simple. We use our eyes to trace the maps, and you cannot successfully catch it. Use your finger. Do finger pointing and follow the instructions.
You know, my eyes used to come in when I'm writing, when I'm reading that particular one, when I'm listening to it. It used to come my eyes.
Tension. So you just have to be calm. Use your finger. Now let me explain to us how we can manage maps. Right? On every question, on every map question, there is usually this particular guy. Right? It may not be clearly written on the question paper. This guy. What do you call this guy? Now, what do you call it?
4 cardinal points. Cardinal points.
It's called the 4 cardinal points. Some persons may call it what? Navigator. Some other persons may call it compass. Right? So on every map or plan, there is usually the compass or navigator. It may not be boldly written. Sometimes it just indicates N somewhere, S somewhere, right? But if it's not written there, in your own mind, establish north, south, east, and west. Put them. Note that if you have your question paper right in front of you, the top side of the map is what? North. The bottom part close to you is what? South. The one on the right is what? East. The one on the part on the left-hand side is your west. Perfect. Now the audio will always give you a starting point to locate a particular spot on the map. It will tell you. So what you need to do is ensure that you are not static to your position. Because if you are meant to start from a particular part that is opposite to you, if you use your static position, you are going the wrong side. Let's take an instance. On this place, on this, if this is the map right in front of you, I'm using your position, not mine, your position here. If this is right in front of your desk on the question paper, where is your north? This part, right? Where is the south? Bottom part. Where is the west? Nice. And the east? Perfect. Now, if it says, let's assume there is please let's pay attention. Alright, so today I'll be taking you through the different facilities that have been introduced to the newly innovated block. I'm sure you used to know it as your Teflon block, but now it has been renamed to TATEC Center. Of course, you also understand how the different locations are established. But since the renovations are taking place, a lot of new facilities are being brought in, and the previous places are now being converted to different things. So I'd like to take you through a tour to guide you on how to locate each of these places. So to begin, for those of you who like to cool off during your day's hustle by going through the swimming pool, I would like to introduce that to you by telling you to go through the main entrance on the north. Before you start going southward, of course that will be taking you to the wrong side. It is just right there on the left hand side as you come in. And those of us who like to sit out to have a cup of coffee with your friends, we now have a cafe. Please, it is important for you to understand that the cafe is not too far away from the swimming pool. It is just on the other side of it, just opposite of the swimming pool. And if you like to go to the arid space where you are free to do anything you like to, some persons stay there to play volleyball, some other persons play soccer. To locate the arid space, you may not necessarily need to come through the main entrance on the north, but it's easier to locate if you go through the main entrance on the south. Before you start going northward, it's just on the right hand side. Now let's look at the garden. It is a quite busy place because a lot of people like to go there and have a little time out. To locate the garden, coming through the main entrance on the south, go towards the center of the park, which is taking you northward. Please do not take the right turn because that will be taking you to the library. It is just there on the left before the center of the park. And that's where we stop. If you are confused about any part of the map, feel free to make use of the Google search. No. Number 21. What is your answer? Swimming pool?
Number 5.
Yes.
Sorry, number 25. What is your answer?
B.
B. Incorrect.
B.
D. Incorrect.
C.
C. Incorrect. It's A. Why is it A, sir?
Because it's even straightforward. Why you say why we come from through the north? It's just opposite the cafe. So
Mr. Ben, I have a reservation. Normally they will tell you have about 3 entrances.
You just said there's one main entrance. In my head, I felt this is just the main entrance, so there's no other entrance. But you'd have specifically say on the audio that we have about 3 entrances.
No, he said an entrance from the north.
Thank you.
And opposite.
There was a video I saw, right? They told us in the audio that we have about 3 entrances.
Entrances.
The entrances, there's one from the north, one from the south, one from the east. So you could be able to understand. But you just said there's one entrance, there's an entrance. In my head, the assumption is just this one.
This. Remember, apart from here, is there any other opening to come in?
Okay, but based on what you said, I think there's an opening northward.
And the audio said coming through the main entrance on the north, right? So this cannot be the north. It's not possible. I understand what you're saying, but you should also be very logical in your analysis. So right here, this is the map. This cannot be the north. It's not possible. This is the north. Like I told us, this is the cardinal point. North, south, east, and west. It may not be written, but in your head you should view that. Do you understand?
I actually heard entrance from the south.
That was not for the first answer.
All this I was looking down there.
Same here with me,
From the
because
north, I heard.
in my head, it's an assumption. So there's an entrance, there are about 3 entrances into this particular building. Probably that are giving me a clearer view. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sometimes
So you are looking at question that is not there.
huh?
It's looking at question that is
There's
not
not.
There's not here. Okay, actually.
So please, here when you see a map, even without the audio describing to you, look at the map and do your analysis. So that when the map now begins to give you, it will align with what you have actually thought out about it. Right? So as far as this is concerned, there are only 2 entrances, the one on the north and the one here on the south. So I said earlier that the audio will always tell you the start point or the starting point to locate a particular place. If I said, don't go through the entrance on the south because that will be a long way, it is easier to locate if you come into the main entrance on the north. As you go in, don't try to go southward because that will be taking you too far away. It's just there on the left. So what's the left for you? Why is it the left for you? Don't say because I've given us the answer. Why is it
Because
the
we're
left?
entering from the north.
So when you enter from the north, what happens?
My left.
Thank you. Your demonstration makes a lot of sense. Because the way you're seated, right? The north, your right is different.
Yes.
The way you're seated. That's why I said don't be static. You need to tilt yourself to the right point of entrance at each point in time. So it says come in through the entrance on the north. So assume that you are no longer seated the way you are. You are now coming in the other way, so you are facing this direction. So it says don't go southward, don't move down. It will take you too far. It is just there on the left. So as you are facing this way, this is your left and this is your right. Please, do you understand this? Victoria, are you following?
Yes, sir.
Now, for the cafe, I said don't go anywhere. It is just there on the other side, directly opposite the swimming pool. Where is opposite the swimming pool? Very simple. Then for arid space, thank you. For arid space, I said it is easier to locate if you come in through the main entrance on the south, right? And there is no need going northward. It is just there on the right turn if you come in through the main entrance on the south. So where is the right turn? The sea. Arid space. Then for your garden, I said as you come in through the entrance on the south, go northward. What does northward mean? You're moving up. No, it doesn't mean coming here. Anything from here going up is northward now. Anything taking you up is northward. So as you go northward, I said just before you get to the center of the park, do not take the right turn because that will take you to the library. And that was where the answer to that was. That will take you to the library, but the garden is just on the left-hand side by the center of the park. So you are getting 2 answers immediately. Please always pay attention. Alright? This is quite easy, I must say. So this is the way your map reading should go. So let's look at alternatives. Now, if the issue is something that requires alternatives for survival, or alternative for someone who could not afford the cost, then there will be other options for you. So you need to listen to the alternatives and get your answers. Section 3, we are looking at group discussions. Now, group discussions right here involves about 3 or more persons. But before we get into the section 3, let's understand that sections 1 and 2 are always about social life. Social life. It's either talking about accommodation, travel, excursion. It's talking about maps where you can meet certain things. So bear in mind. But sections 3 and 4 are always about academics. That's why everyone takes on the same listening test, whether you are doing general or you are doing academic. Because the listening test covers the 2 areas. Right? So for section 3, let's look at group discussions.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, please.
What do you say again about this alternative and futures?
I said if the issue of this course right here has some implications that may either affect people or that may pose some level of difficulties for people to afford, then the audio will talk about alternatives that people can take to still get what they are searching for. For instance, if the issue right here was talking about purchasing a gadget, maybe you've always known that this particular MacBook, this particular model of MacBook, it cost about 600,000. Then after a few months, you return to purchase that same MacBook. The cost may have increased, right? Reasonably. So if your budget cannot afford that MacBook at that point, you'll be given alternative gadgets that still plays almost the same function as that MacBook. So do you understand this? So there will be alternatives. Then for group discussions, we are looking at names of discussants. Names of discussants will be introduced by the narrator by telling you something like section 3. You will hear a group discussion of students talking about their projects. And this is between Jennifer, Jenny, blah, blah. Their names will be mentioned. But if their names are not mentioned, when they begin to converse, they will address each other by their name. Do you understand? You get to know who is who. It won't be an answer at that point in time, no. Right? But you will use the names to solve certain questions as you proceed. Then, issue of discourse, what are they talking about? Or what have they gathered to talk about? So please listen and take that. Now, who will be their target audience? They will always refer to a particular age bracket or a particular category of people, right? Or social strata that they want to really use to achieve their purpose. So always listen to get that. Now, where will they go to? They will agree on where it is best for them to go to be able to meet their target audience. Let's say, for instance, if you want to get information about happenings around the country, first-hand information, where are you supposed to go to? If you want to conduct an interview, where will be the location and who will be your target audience if you are conducting a first-hand information of situations in the country, first-hand information about
the economy or government.
Let's look at about government. About government, yeah.
You go to the masses.
You go to the masses.
On the news.
You go to where?
Social media.
Social media. About governance. You want to get first-hand information of governments or new laws. It is best you go to the legislatures. They are the people who come up with laws, right? So you want to go to such location. You are not looking for clerks. You want to go into the office of the senators, right? So ask them, Senator, this. We recently heard that this is about to be passed. Is that how true is that? First-hand information, right? So they would always consider locations to go to meet the appropriate people to get whatever issue they want to talk about. Then cost implication. Now let's assume you want to go to the National Assembly right about now. You know where it's situated, right? So you want to consider the cost. How much will it cost you to drive down there? and return. Will there be other additional monies that will be incurred? Yes. So those are things the group discussants would consider and agree on a particular number of people they should interview or have conduct surveys on. Then duration. How long will it take them to carry out that particular exercise to derive or arrive at what they want? Then what's the cause? Why are they doing all of these exercises? What impact will it make? Maybe to their graduation, which is project. Now, individual view. Having gotten the names of those discussants at the beginning, you'll be able to answer this question. What so person feels about, maybe after the interview, one of them is not asking, or is being asked, what do you think about Senator Abbey? When we met him. What do you think about his body language and response? So that's it. Then unanimous view, collective agreement. Collective. So they want to ask you about, they want to ask, or they want to come to a logical conclusion. So collectively, they need to agree on a particular thing. Their solution, they need to conclude on how to go about solving the particular issue. Right? Then let's go to the last part, which is section 4. Your section 4 could be a monologue or a group discussion. Section 4 is usually very fast. Very fast. Very fast. And it usually runs from 31 to 40. You swallow me. In case you don't see me. Alright. So please, whatever it is the section 4 is talking about, reserve enough strength and energy. Do not exhaust your interest while treating sections 1 to 3. Section 4 needs more attention because it's usually a very long time for you. Right? And when you're asked to read questions 31 to 40, it is safer to read 36 to 40 first. Don't do 31, don't start from 31. If you start from 31, before you complete 35, the audio begins again. So you are going back to 31. So once you get to 35, you'll be exhausted. 36 to 40 will be a very big hassle for you. Then if you start with 36 to 40, by the time you're getting to 40, audio want to start to go to 31. It is easy to manage that 31 to 35. Right? Then you need to do a lot of scribbling when you're doing 31 to 40. You need to do a lot of writing for the question paper. Do you understand? So you'll be jotting down in case it's too fast for you to manage. When you are done, you have things you want to answer as well. Please. Do you understand this? Do we understand? Okay.